Charles Leclerc just admitted to the media that Ferrari may be sabotaging its own success. And at the same time, Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari is turning sour thanks to a hidden Mercedes clause that's hampering his transition. Here's the latest at Maranello, and things aren't looking good. After charging to the podium in Saudi Arabia, Charles Leclerc has pointed the finger at Ferrari's qualifying struggles as the culprit behind the team's challenges. In the last race, he grabbed his first podium of the season, finishing third behind race winner Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen, who took second. But as the first 5 races of the 2025 season unfold, the true extent of Ferrari's competitiveness remains a bit of a mystery. Ferrari's decision to switch from a pull rod to a push rod suspension design has yet to unleash the full potential of the SF25. The season got off to a rocky start in 2025 Australia, but there was a glimmer of hope in China when both Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton finished 5th and 6th, only to be disqualified due to separate technical violations. Hamilton's transition from Mercedes to Ferrari hasn't been as smooth as hoped, with performance issues lingering. However, Leclerc has been the steady hand, securing a 4th-place finish in both Japan and Bahrain before breaking through to grab a podium in Saudi Arabia. Ferrari has had the slowest start among the top 4 teams, with just 78 points, already trailing McLaren by a hefty 110. Red Bull, in 3rd place, is only 11 points ahead, well within reach as the action moves to Miami this weekend. In Saudi Arabia, Ferrari clearly had the upper hand over Mercedes, but Leclerc found himself having to battle through the pack after a less-than-ideal qualifying behind George Russell. Leclerc pinpointed Ferrari's struggles with Saturday's single-lap pace as the key issue, noting that it's making Sundays much tougher than they should be, as he shared after the race in Saudi Arabia. "I think we are close on the race pace. I think free air dictates a little bit who is going to win the race. That's always been the case. Maybe this year a little bit more than other years. And obviously, when that is the case, qualifying is more important. But unfortunately, for 2 years, we're just struggling in qualifying to put everything together. This weekend, the problem is it's not always the same issue. This time, it was 4 tenths in the first 3 corners. For the rest of the lap, we were fast. And now today in the race, actually, the first sector was probably the best sector we had. So we've got to look at that. Obviously, there are answers in what we are doing, and we are doing something wrong, clearly. We've got to find it. We cannot lose too many races before finding it because we're already 50 points down in the Drivers' Championship. We're not looking at it too much, but 50 points is a big number. I don't want to be losing more points than that in the next few races. As Ferrari begins to unlock the full potential of the SF25, Leclerc has been surprised by the contrast between its qualifying struggles and the car's strong race performance. Reflecting on his 3rd-place finish, he remarked that it's the qualifying handling that's been the biggest surprise, with the car's race pace far exceeding expectations. There wasn't anything more in the car. I think we need to focus on qualifying because it's been a very long time I haven't been as happy with the car balance. I feel very at ease with the car, in a way that I know I can extract the maximum out of the car more often than not, but unfortunately, the car potential is just not good enough to fight for better in qualifying. In the race, the good car balance had results. We were all surprised by our pace in free air on the first stint. That was really good. Everything else was perfectly executed, strategy was great, pit stops have been great the whole season, and also the whole of last year as well. There wasn't much more we could have done. In terms of track familiarity, I don't think it has any impact on performance at the moment. We just need a better car. If we start further up, we'll have our chances. If not, we're all too close in the race to make a difference. We really need to focus and put everything together in qualifying. After finishing a whopping 30 seconds behind Charles Leclerc in Saudi Arabia, Lewis Hamilton is bracing himself for more frustration this weekend in Miami. Aside from a solid sprint race performance at the Chinese Grand Prix, Hamilton has faced a tough time finding both confidence and pace since his switch to Ferrari. With more challenges likely ahead, he's expecting a repeat of those struggles in Miami. At the Jeddah Corniche circuit, Hamilton ended up in 7th, trailing well behind Leclerc, who surged to a podium finish while Hamilton's pit stop strategy left him chasing from a distance. It's another setback for the seven-time F1 world champion, who qualified 0.6 of a second behind Leclerc and was heard on team radio asking where he's losing time to his rivals, seemingly baffled by their pace compared to his. Heading to Miami this weekend, Hamilton is bracing for more trouble at the Hard Rock Stadium. Hamilton shared with the media in Saudi Arabia that, "I think I'll struggle also in Miami. I don't know how much longer I'll struggle for, but it's definitely painful." Hamilton's biggest hurdle seems to be confidence in medium to high-speed corners, a weakness that became particularly apparent at the high-speed Jeddah circuit. The data clearly shows where he's falling behind, with Hamilton admitting it's obvious where he's struggling compared to Leclerc's pace. He's been driving this car for a long time, so he definitely knows it really well. "There's plenty in the data, for sure," Hamilton explained. "I mean, honestly, it doesn't look massively different in the data. Just I go slower through the corners. We do have slightly different setups. I have to look and see whether that setup is the way the car likes to be." Yeah, him and his side are definitely, obviously doing a better job. After feeling like he made progress during the second half of the Bahrain Grand Prix, Hamilton was left baffled by his performance in Saudi Arabia. The seven-time F1 world champion has been candid about his difficulties, even joking that he might need a brain transplant to fix his ongoing struggles. While talking about the race where there was nothing positive to take anything away from, he said, "It was horrible. It was horrible. Not enjoyable at all. I was just sliding around. First stint, massive understeer, car not turning. And then, massive deg. And then the second stint, slightly better balance, but still just no pace. Yeah, pretty bad. I'm struggling to feel the car underneath me. But there's no particular thing. There's nothing to say, hey, this is the issue. In qualifying, it's me extracting performance. In the race, I tried everything, and the car just didn't want to go quicker." While his prestige and track record have never been in doubt, Hamilton's transition to the Scuderia has proven more challenging than anticipated. One key, often overlooked factor might be the root of his struggles, a contractual clause imposed by Mercedes before his departure. As revealed earlier in 2025, Hamilton had to accept a strict condition when leaving Mercedes. He was forbidden from poaching any staff members for a full year. This no poaching clause, signed in the summer of 2023 during his contract extension with Mercedes, has meant that Hamilton couldn't bring along trusted figures like Peter Bonington, his race engineer since 2013, further complicating his adjustment to Ferrari. At the same time, Charles Leclerc recently pointed out another source of tension: Hamilton's very different approach to work. This clash of methodologies, rooted in Hamilton's Mercedes years, has certainly brought fresh ideas to Ferrari, but it's also sparked some uncertainty within the team. The Monegasque driver explained that, "It doesn't mean we'll change everything, but it's opening our minds." Leclerc embraces the added value of Hamilton's vast experience, but also recognizes differences in how they interpret certain technical aspects. While they're not polar opposites, the two drivers did discover a surprising similarity in their approach to corner entry, an unexpected common ground in what has otherwise been a challenging adaptation period. The question now is, can Lewis Hamilton finally get it together after his rocky start? Or is this as good as it's going to get for him? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching.